Skill Up Mississippi is an initiative through the Office of Adult Education at the Mississippi Community College Board. Serving all 82 counties, Skill Up provides free and flexible programs through high school diploma preparation, our job readiness course, Smart Start, and My Best. To learn more about how adult education is skilling up our students in Mississippi, visit our website at www.skillupmississippi.com. Welcome to Skill Up Mississippi's first podcast. I'm Bronwyn Robertson, Program Specialist with Workforce and Employer Engagement with the Office of Adult Education. I'm hoping to bring you guys some relevant information in order for you to just take around the state, bring awareness to what we're doing in adult education. And so today we have Beth Little, State Director. And so thank you for coming on to our first podcast, Beth.
Thank you, Bronwyn. I'm so excited to be here. This is such a new adventure for all of us, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
I know, being the first podcast. Okay, so we're kind of relaxed
here.
No pressure. So we know that you've been in adult ed for a long time, and so you just became director. But just tell the audience, because you just became director, what, July 1st or
May
something?
1st.
May
yes,
1st. Okay.
Very recent, though.
Okay, so May 1st. And so why don't you just tell a little bit about yourself and how you came to the board? And
Sure,
yeah.
I'm glad to. I started my journey in adult ed started in 2009 when I lived in Senatobia, Mississippi. I started as a volunteer at Northwest Community College in the adult education program. My history prior to adult ed is working. I've been in the accounting profession since I graduated from college. That was what my degree was in. And I was working from my home for about 9 years, and something was just missing. My children were older. They weren't as dependent on me. Working out of the home several hours a day, I just needed something to give back to the community, I felt like. So I started just volunteering at the local adult education program, fell in love with it immediately. Within a few months, was offered a position part-time there, and within another few months, became a full-time instructor. So I just knew that I'd found my calling. I wanted to help people. I have 2 children. One of them really excelled in school, loved it, always looked at it as a challenge. And then I had another one that was very smart, but really just school was not her thing.
Right.
And so she struggled some just with the structure of the classroom and all. And so I was so able to relate to the students that we served in adult education at Northwest, and understood that not all of them were there because they just didn't get school or they just weren't smart. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it just was not a good fit for them. So since then I've been instructor, transition coordinator, lead instructor, data manager. Came on board here in 2017, and now as of May the 1st this year, I'm state director. So I just love it. I have a passion for serving our students just like you do. I mean, I think everybody that knows you and I know that we have a passion for adult education and serving our students. So I'm just very blessed and thankful to be here.
Yes, well, so far the transition has just ran so smooth with our department, and so I know that we've got great leadership. Taking us into that next level. I know that one of your goals is career pathways, and we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But, we do have over 361,000 students that don't have a high school diploma here. And, just talking about that passion that we have for our students and the passion that we have for adult education in Mississippi, when we talk about that in a middle skills gap, how do you think adult ed has evolved over the last several years from where you were at Northwest as a volunteer to now, and what we're able to offer everybody?
Yes, well, I can tell you, when I first started in adult education, our primary focus at that time was to help students achieve or attain a GED. Mm-hmm. And that is the equivalent to a high school diploma in our minds. So that was kind of all that we did at that time. We got them in our classrooms, we developed a plan specifically for them, and went with them along the journey until they were able to pass that high school equivalency diploma. Mm-hmm. Since then, it has really evolved because we are more than just a high school equivalency. That's not the only goal that we're trying to reach. We go beyond that. We try to transition our students into, as you know very well, post-secondary educational training. and employment. It could also be even in the military. So we really follow the students through their path, through their journey. I think of it as like, you've probably heard me say this when we've had trainings or conferences. To me, when the student first comes to our program, we look at their whole story. We get them to fill out paperwork, and that paperwork tells a story about that student. And so we want to make sure that we're looking at their goals. We're helping them transition into these pathways that fit their needs in order to give them the skills that are necessary to get them into these jobs that are out there. We know there's hundreds, thousands of jobs available,
right?
But we just need to provide our students with the skills necessary to fit into those pathways.
Well, and I know that there's something that you say, and we say it all the time, we're the best kept secret.
We are the best
when
kept
it comes
secret.
to what we do with our students, that people
Yes.
just do not know what we're doing. But I think there's also a stigma to adult
Yes.
education. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to go work on my, how we used to say, go work on my GED.
Yes.
And, so for those parents or those students or that employer or someone that's listening to us right now, what would you say to them when they say that I'm just going to do that, or that I don't want to go do that because it's embarrassing, or, there's a stigma to it?
Well, I can tell you for sure it is no easy feat. I mean,
Right.
It is extremely difficult. We offer multiple pathways to getting your high school diploma in Mississippi. As you know, we have the GED, high set, and the competency-based diploma. We had another option, but that's no longer something that we're using in Mississippi. So none of those pathways, none of those options, none of those test options are easy to accomplish. So we do have a stigma, and I hate that. I wish there was some way that we could fix that. But just because a student or an individual does not have their high school diploma does not mean that they are not capable of earning their diploma.
Right.
There are a lot of students or participants out there that just maybe they had to drop out because they had a mother or father that was sick and they became the father figure in that family. Maybe they had a wreck. Maybe their parents moved multiple times. There are lots of reasons. A lot of times it's because they have a learning disability that's not identified. So just because a person does not have their high school diploma does not mean that they are not academically capable of earning it. So that's one of the things I love about adult education is when students come to us, we meet them where they are.
Right.
We're not a cookie cutter. You don't go and sit in a classroom where everybody else is working on the same thing every day after, day after day after day. We really look at the individual and their needs when they come to us to identify what exactly that student needs. And we want to meet those needs on an individual basis so that they can achieve their goal faster.
Right, because I think about me, if I were to walk into a local adult education program and I were to take, because I know we do an assessment on them to see where they are with their grade equivalency,
Right.
I probably would be a very strong English reading learner.
Yes.
However, I'd probably be weak in math.
Right.
And so that lets the teacher know, hey, let's work on these math skills. Like
Exactly.
And it also, correct me if I'm wrong, it goes on even down to let the teacher know where that math skill is.
It does.
Like I would be probably terrible with percentages,
Yes.
but very good with very basic. I don't know. I'm just saying, but
Right.
it lets them know down to the very thing what that student needs.
That's right, and that is the beauty of adult education. So in your case, in a situation like that, we would not force you to sit through reading language arts classes because you don't need it. It's not necessary.
Right.
Your student success plan is what we call it, would lead you and guide you into those classes with those math needs that you may have. And then we do assessments as we go along. A lot of students think of, I'm back in school, I'm having to take tests, and they are not tests. They are strictly assessments to let us see if you've mastered these individual objectives within the
Right.
subject areas that you need. And then we keep drilling down from there.
Right.
And so I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for so many people out there across Mississippi that either did not finish high school for one reason or another, or that may just need to brush up on their skills for employment.
Right.
We have a lot of employers that are now using the the ACT Work Keys curriculum or test, National Career Readiness Certificate
Yeah.
for pre-employment. And we see people all the time that come to our programs because they can't pass the math portion.
Right.
It's very common.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are not strong at math. A lot of people just, that's not their thing. And so those people also, even if they have a high school diploma, can come to our program for help and assistance in those areas.
Yeah, and I'm going to use my dad as an example. I think you've heard my example with my dad many times. He was on a job for almost 30 years, and they ended up shutting the company down, and
Right.
he wasn't ready to retire. And and so he went in, he came into the Wynn Job Center where I was for, what we used to call a work order, a job order, and he had to go take a math test for that job.
Exactly.
And so I said, well, Daddy, just go up to Holmes Community College's, adult education program and brush up on your math skills. If not to get the math skills, but to get the confidence to go sit for the test for that employer. And so we do. We meet students where they are, and the age range is anywhere from 16, some 16-year-olds up to 80s.
Absolutely. That's so
and
right.
so I love that.
I do too. And believe it or not, we do have 70 and 80-year-olds that come to
I
us
know we
just
do.
to achieve that, which I just
Absolutely.
admire them so much. But as you say, yes, 16 and 17-year-olds are welcome in our program. There is one stipulation with those: they must have a withdrawal form from high school, as you know, because we can't serve students that are currently enrolled in K through 12.
Right.
But other than that, that's the only everybody's eligible for our program. It is free. The only cost that a student may incur would be for testing.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually taking either the GED, the high set, or the competency-based diploma. However, we have lots of wonderful, wonderful organizations like Second Chance Mississippi, Dollar General, Taco Bell, Walmart, several other agencies across the state and that are national organizations too, that donate money to us and that we can use for scholarships for those testing fees. So they're really, if money is a problem, that's not an issue, and that should never be an issue from keeping someone to come to our programs, because we can serve them, we can find the funds. One of the things, that we'll get to, I'm sure later on in this week or in the podcast, is My Best.
Yeah.
With the My Best program, there, if you go into, let's talk about My Best. We'll just touch on that real quick, if that's okay. So,
as a matter of fact, Nikita's up next.
Sure.
So
good.
she's going to be interviewed next about My Best. So go right ahead.
So in Mississippi, My Best, or Integrated Education and Training, we call it the My Best program, is basically similar to being dual enrolled. So you're enrolled in adult education classes and career and technical education classes at the same time. So the My Best program for Mississippi has been wonderful. It is free. There is no cost. So students can literally come into our program, and many have, without even being aware of My Best, which is just wonderful. They hear about this program, so they're enrolling in adult education. They're working towards earning their high school equivalency and enrolling in college at the same time. We have many programs across the state that offer nursing, welding, manufacturing. You could probably add to the list better than I can because you work so closely with them. But whatever the needs that the students may have in these college pathways, the My Best program is able to provide support services to these students, whether if they're needing a welding mask or if they're needing specific shoes, specific tools, anything they're needing for the nursing program, they can supply those to the students at no cost, which is just unheard of these days. And so I think if I could stress anything, and I hope this will accomplish our goal. One of our goals is marketing and raising awareness across the state to the opportunities that are available in adult ed. And it is mostly all just about 100% free.
Right.
Completely free.
And that's phenomenal. So well, go ahead, while you've already talked about My Best, and we know that we have close to 2,600 employers that are recognizing the National Career Readiness Certificate in one way or another in their hiring practices. So we know that's another initiative that we have in adult ed. You've touched on that a little bit. Touch on some other initiatives that we have in adult ed. I know Smart Start, which is our pathway course, our job readiness course. Touch on that and what you think about that and how that affects our students.
Sure. Well, the Smart Start course, when I came on board at the Community College Board, that was one of the things I was tasked with in beginning, is the Smart Start course, pathway course. And so that is designed to provide our students with the necessary skills that are needed today during employment. Those skills that are the career awareness skills. your Smart Start's your baby now, so I feel like I'm preaching to the
No,
choir
you're
here, but
okay. It's the
all about
audience.
it.
You're talking to the
Yes.
audience.
So Smart Start is critical in adult education, not only in adult education, but with all of our core partners.
Right.
But pertaining to adult education, it is the foundation of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We work with and talk with employers all over the state all the time, and they tell us we need employees that can show up on time.
Right.
We need employees that are dependable. We need employees that know how to communicate. We need employees that know how to talk professionally.
Right.
We need employees that are good at customer service, team building.
Mm-hmm.
We provide a course for those students, for those participants
Right.
that cover all of these things. We help them with a resume. One of the things that is vital, and
Mm-hmm.
I know you, when you go out and work with the programs, you stress the importance of this, but it's so important to have a good resume. And as you know, a lot of our students will say, I don't have any past job experience.
Right.
I don't have anything to put down. But we work with them and find out what are they good at? What attributes do they have with team building? There's always something that we can help them find to put on their resumes. We do mock interviews. That's where someone comes in and you're in a pretend make-believe
Right.
interview.
Yes.
So, because as you know, it's sometimes very difficult for our students when they come to us with very little confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard when you go out to apply for a job and sit down. I remember one of my first job interviews I went on, I thought it was just me and another person, kind of
Right.
like the two of us sitting here, and I walk in the room and there's 5 people sitting there.
Right.
Those are things I don't necessarily think that our students are prepared for a lot of
Right.
times.
Right.
So we talk about those things. We talk about financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
I need the financial literacy course. How do you budget? How do
Right.
you open a checking account? Do you need a driver's license? When you go to take these tests, you have to have some
Right.
type of ID. So there's just a lot of life skills that we go over in Smart Start too.
Right.
And so, as I said earlier, that's really the basis for adult education. And when students come into our programs, that's the beginning step.
Right.
And we progress from Smart Start into our high school equivalency classes.
Right. And it's just so, for us to try to drop that reputation of just being a high school diploma, we've talked about high school diploma very briefly.
Yeah.
We've talked about all the other great things that we're doing
Right.
that are what we call stacked credentials, and
Yes.
and just making our students more employable.
That's right.
And so let's go back just real briefly, because we've talked about all the things that we provide services and all of our resources that we have. Let's talk about where they can find these, like where
Yes.
a class is offered. You might want to touch on that just a little bit, and then wrap us up with where they can go to find more information.
Sounds great. Well, we have 82 counties in Mississippi,
Yep.
and we offer adult education classes in each of the counties. We have 15 community colleges across the state with adult education classes, and we have 3 community-based or high school programs. We also are in the Department of Corrections. That's
Right.
something we have not touched on, is working with those that are trying to re-enter into our society.
Right.
So we do serve those in corrections at the major correctional facilities here. We have Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, Parchman, South Mississippi Correctional Institution, and then a lot of the county and local jails
Right.
across the state
Right,
too.
and regional, yes.
Yes. So we are in all 82 counties. But if you want to, if students are looking for a way to contact us, there's multiple ways. We have our website, which is skillupmississippi.com. They can go there. There's a contact form. I think one of the hardest things for our students is actually coming to us and walking in the
Right.
door and
Yes.
saying, hey, I don't have my high school diploma. I need help. How do I get started? Or, hey, I'm wanting a better future. Or, hey, I'm wanting to get into college. What next actions do I need to take? So for us, I think Skill Up Mississippi is the key. SkillUpMississippi.com. You can fill out a form on there. It says contact us. Put your information and let us contact them.
Right.
We'll as you know, we can contact the students and then help them set up that initial meeting.
Try to connect them to that program.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Well, and I thank you for coming on. I thank
I'm
you
so
for
glad.
being the guinea pig of
Yes,
the
it's
first
been great.
podcast. I think it's been fantastic, and we're going to be doing these once a month, so we hope that you will join us back. We're going to have Nikitna Barnes up next to talk about the My Best program, one of the major initiatives here at Skill Up Mississippi at the Office of Adult Education at the Mississippi Community College Board. Skill Up programs like My Best are designed to enroll Mississippians with or without a high school diploma into available integrated career pathways through our state's community college system. If you want to know more about how My Best can assist you in securing jobs with a livable wage, visit our website at www.skillupmississippi.com. Welcome back to Skill Up Mississippi's podcast. If you're just now joining us, my name is Bronwyn Robertson, and I'm a program specialist with the Office of Adult Education. You heard earlier interview with Beth Little, our state director, and all the initiatives that we have going on in adult education here in Mississippi. And one of the initiatives that she mentioned was My Best. And so today we have Nikitna Barnes, who is in our Office of Adult Education, to talk with us about My Best and what it is. But first, let's learn about Nikitna. Nikitna, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to the board, and just your experience starting off with My Best.
Okay. So, like Bronwyn said, I am Nikitna Barnes, and I am the Assistant Director of Adult Education for grants and special programs. And so within that title, I am also the My Best Program Manager. Prior to coming to the board, I worked at the Mississippi Institutions of Higher Learning with a program named America Reads Mississippi, and it's an AmeriCorps program.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a literacy component of AmeriCorps. Mm-hmm. And so what we did through that program is we provided literacy services to children in K through 3 to help bring their reading skills up to level.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
that's awesome.
I worked at the state level, and I was a special projects coordinator, so I helped manage a lot of the activities through the program.
So you're bringing a lot of experience when you're overseeing My Best. But go ahead and continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay. And so with my responsibilities as it stands here at the board, I manage the day-to-day operations of the My Best program, along with other grant programs that I'm responsible for. Mm-hmm. I monitor the programs for fidelity and to make sure that program goals and objectives are met, and I also provide support and resources to our college staff to ensure that our students are being successful through our programs.
Well, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of responsibility with the big long title that you have there. Well, look, tell us exactly what My Best is. I know we talk about, and we just mentioned it before we recorded here, about middle skills gap. Mm-hmm. And we, but if someone were to ask you, what is My Best? What does it look like in a program? How would you explain it to them?
So My Best is a workforce development initiative that focuses on helping low-skilled individuals gain access to good jobs that pay family-sustaining wages to help support their families. Mm-hmm. So in a nutshell, when you talk about the middle skills gap,
right.
Prior to COVID, in our state, we had enough jobs, but we didn't have enough skilled workers to fill those jobs. Right. And so through My Best, individuals are able to come in and work on their HSC, which equivalent to the high school diploma,
right?
And get the workforce training at the same time. So it's an integrated approach.
And that's to me is just amazing about My Best, because those individuals that are out there that mm-hmm. think I can't get a high school diploma, and then they come into our program and they learn, okay, we're so much more than that. Right. We're so much more than that. And for them to be able to go into a career pathway, mm-hmm. because y'all have also, correct me if I'm wrong, designed your My Best program around what our economic leaders of Mississippi tell us are projected career pathways, things that will lead them to employment. So tell us about the selection process on those pathways, mm-hmm. or some of those pathways that students can go into.
Right, and you are absolutely correct with about how the pathway programs were designed and set up, because what we don't want, or the initial design of the program, we didn't want individuals to go through the program and not have a job in the end.
Right.
And so with the career pathways, we use the labor market demand information from the local areas, right. to make sure that there are jobs in those areas for the pathways that the students are going through. Okay. And so, Bronwyn, what a typical day looks like in the MyBest world. Let's just say you were recruited for the MyBest program.
So I'm a student.
So you are a student.
I'm a student.
And so you come in because you're interested in MyBest, and you really just want better for yourself, and you want to put your family in a better position.
Okay.
You dropped out of school when you were 8th grade.
Okay.
For whatever the reason was, because what we do is we meet individuals where they are.
Right.
Okay, so you come in and you were recruited by one of our college and career navigators.
Yes.
Okay.
Great position.
So we have a college and career navigator. We have at least 2 at most of our colleges, and at some colleges there's 1. But this person bring you in, and they sit down and talk to you about, okay, so what are some of your goals? What do you want to do? What are you good at? What career path do you want to go through?
Right.
What do you see yourself doing? And then we talk about what some of your barriers are, so that we can help eliminate those barriers so you could be successful through the program.
Right.
Now, to talk a little bit more about what that college and career navigator responsibilities are. What they do is they help provide students with supportive services and resources to assist with removing barriers to success. And so that comes in the form of helping with transportation, college supplies, childcare, testing fees. It's just different based on the individual need. So once we get all of that out of the way, of course, there's some program information we have to collect. We set the student up for their adult ed classes,
Right.
and their workforce skill classes at the same time. And
Right.
what this does is it accelerates the path to completion.
Yes.
And so you don't do one and do the other. You're doing them both at the same time. And that's how most of our students are successful through the program, because they're getting that hands-on approach, and they like being able to just feeling like they're traditional students like
Right.
all other students.
Right. And I just think that's so amazing, because adult ed has just evolved into so much more than getting your high school
Right.
diploma, which is what
Right.
Beth and I talked about in our last interview. And we've just come so far, and a lot of students don't know
Right.
a lot about that. And so would you say, so identify, if you will, some of those pathways that we are offering our students.
Okay.
What are some of those?
And so, like I said, we did the labor market demand based on the area that the community college is in.
Right.
And so some of those pathways are welding, certified nursing assistant, construction, culinary arts, HVAC.
Right.
So it just depends on what the student is interested in and what the college have to offer.
That's true, and because I was looking maybe at the South Mississippi, area, and energy's big, and
Right.
and those are things that we teach our students about in adult ed, what those sector strategies are, and MyBest is a huge component of all that. Well, I'm going to tell you, personally, I will tell you, we're not reinventing the wheel here. I don't think. You and I were talking the other day about how my dad dropped out in the 10th grade, and so what that would have looked like for me if he had not gone back to get his high school diploma, and of course go into an apprenticeship program to become a welder. And so, we're not reinventing the wheel. Like I just said, we're actually kind of doing a little bit better,
Right.
if that makes any sense. And so one of your programs, I believe it was Mississippi Delta, shared a video with us several weeks ago that just brought tears to my eyes, because the impact that it had on that young lady, and how she didn't even know that she wanted to do medical field. And after one of your college and career navigators met with her, and she was able to maybe go into a program and look at what they do, and exposed to that, she is just at a whole different level right now, in the confidence level, and now she's able to make money, have a salary for her family.
Right, and that's a true testament for a lot of our students, Bronwyn. When they come in, they don't know what they want to
Right.
do. Many of them have never walked through college doors before.
Right.
And so having this opportunity to go in and get a taste of success, not only get a taste of success, but they have a support system there with them to help them every step of the way.
And that is just fantastic.
Yes.
Those wraparound services are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, look, we do have a video that we want to share with our audience about My Best. Let them have a visual of what you've been promoting. And I know My Best Week is coming up, and hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, we've celebrated. So I know they have a bunch of activities. So when we come back, we'll talk about those activities real fast,
Right.
okay? So let's break and we'll go to the video.
Good.
My Best is a free program that was designed for people that need a fresh start in life or want to, have a new beginning. I was an addict for over 18 years, and I decided that I wanted to change my life, and My Best has given me that opportunity.
My name is April Rogers. I am 33. I am a current student at Adult Education New Albany. I am also a current student at My Best. My Best has helped me complete CNA classes, and further along with that, I am a CNA now.
I have some of the best teachers that I've ever had in my life, Miss Taylor and Miss Andrea, Miss Moore and Miss Tice. They've really helped us a lot.
So with the My Best program, I was able to get my GED and certain certifications, which in return helped me get my job in home health. Without my GED, I could not have gotten that job.
You can take your GED and you can go to college at the same time now, which was awesome because I want to get a college degree and I want to better my life, so I entered into this program.
And after I got my GED and my job in home health, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and go back to college to pursue my nursing career. And with all the help that they gave me and the encouragement, it pushed me forward to do this. And now, next May of 2020, I graduate with my associate's degree in nursing.
And I'm going here to do the 2-year LPN, and after that, well, then I'm moving on with my further education to continue to go on from there and to become a nurse as well.
I didn't have the money and means in life to get somewhere without help, and they've given me an iPad that's valued at over $300. I get free lunches. I can come up here on my days off and eat lunch too. We get free parking, and these things I wouldn't have been able to achieve if My Best hadn't helped me with this.
I had a job, and through Northeast certifications helped me increase my pay. And My Best is helping me take steps to get my degree, and that will help increase my pay even more to help give me and my kids a better life.
It's just really awesome that we have the opportunity to be in something that's so creative and so understanding and caring. And I don't know what I would do if I did not have My Best here to help me.
Now in life,
Now in life, I can do my best.
I can do my best.
I can do my best.
Now in life, I can do my best.
Well, gosh, that was a great video. That was a really great video and a great testimony of your work with the Community College Board, and just great work of the colleges and your college and career navigators to make an impact on that student's life. So I mentioned before we watched the the video, that you had My Best Week coming up, and it's just a big week of awareness for My Best. And why don't you tell us just some of the activities that are going to go on, and then we'll just learn about those a little bit.
Okay, so yes, My Best Week is coming up. It is an annual event for us. This is actually the 4th year for My Best Week. It is celebrated every year, the third week in October, so it is October 19th through the 24th this year. And what My Best Week is simply an awareness campaign. So it is just making the community aware of the resources that are at their local community colleges for them.
Right.
And I will add too that we are funded, or the program is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, the Women's Foundation of Mississippi, and the Mississippi Department of Human Services. So without their support, we would not be able to provide the support services and the
Right.
free tuition that we provide to our individual students.
Well, that's just awesome. That partnership,
Right,
is awesome. Well, and I interrupted you, but go tell me some activities.
So due to COVID this year, activities look a little different.
Right.
So this year, we are a lot of our colleges are spotlighting My Best programs virtually through their My Best and college Facebook pages. They're doing informational videos. They're doing CTE virtual tours.
That's awesome.
They are doing live student testimonies.
Oh, yeah.
And some are even setting up booths at the local WIN job centers and passing out literature and doing presentations.
Okay. Well, that just sounds like it's going to be a busy week
Yes.
for you. I'm sure that you're going to try to at least virtually attend
Yes.
as many as you can to see what all they're doing. And so I just think it's absolutely fantastic. And I really honestly feel that your program within the Office of Adult Education is one of the most vital pieces of initiatives that we can provide our students. And so I commend you for what you do. But so if someone wanted to hear more about My Best, where would they go? Like, where would they visit?
Well, Bronwyn, if you will allow me to just make three very important points for
Absolutely.
our viewers.
Yeah.
So one, if there is a student who dropped out of high school and they are looking for a second chance and an opportunity for a good job, they should visit our website at www.mybest.skillupmississippi spelled out
Right.
.com and click on the community college that is closest to them. A college and career navigator's contact will be listed there.
Okay.
Two, if there is an employer looking for skilled workers,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let us show you how partnership with My Best and Adult Education can help fill some of the company's positions.
Right.
And three, if there is local or state agency or community organizations or any other entities that work with Mississippi residents looking for good jobs, then they should partner with us as well so that many more residents of Mississippi can tap in and take advantage of this resource that is offered through this program.
Well, it's an awesome program to take,
It is.
take advantage of. And we talk about, marketing and recruiting our program. We're actually, our target audience is pretty much the whole state right now,
That's
bringing
right.
awareness to what we're doing. I really believe that we are possibly the best kept secret when it comes to workforce development and economic development and assisting in all of our needs of Mississippi. Well, I am so thankful that you came on with us today, and thank y'all for joining us for our first Skill Up Mississippi podcast. We hope that you have found the information relevant, and be looking for our next one in the next month or so.